Hey guys, welcome to my channel, Simply Allison. My name is Allison and this is my first video. I'm going to be doing the gender tag, which I've watched almost every gender tag video that's on YouTube right now, which isn't a lot. I am kind of sad that there's not as many gender tag videos as I thought there were gonna be. And I actually first saw Hannah Hart do hers, and it made me think more about my gender than I have. I want to make a disclaimer before I start this video that these are my opinions. I don't expect you guys to agree, or I'm not trying to force you to agree with my opinions. This is just what I have experienced and how I feel. First question, how do you self-identify your gender and what does that definition mean to you? I identify as gender fluid. So that means some days I feel like a girl, I feel very feminine, and some days I feel very masculine, and some days I just feel like myself. I feel like, you know, the term is agender, which is genderless, and I guess some days I just don't feel like wanting to self-identify myself, and if someone were to ask me, I would say agender because I don't feel either like a boy or a girl. I feel like myself. And I think that's the biggest thing for me identifying myself. I don't necessarily like to say, oh, I'm a girl today, I'm a boy today. You know, it does change, but I'm myself and that's who I am, and my gender does change. I do feel differently on different days, and that's just how it is. Second question, what pronouns honor you? I use the pronouns she, her, because that is what I'm born with, and I've always used those pronouns. I wouldn't be against people using the they, their pronouns, because I have noticed when people, you know, they'll say, hey girl, or something, it bothers me when I don't feel feminine. Like right now I'm dressed, you know, more masculine, I'm not wearing any makeup, and if someone were to be like, oh hey girl, you know, or you're my girl, like something like that, it does make me feel kind of awkward almost. Alright, question 3. Describe the style of clothing that you most often wear. I have a variety of clothing. I love to wear dresses, I love to wear skirts, but I love button-ups like this. So, and I like to wear shorts. I wear a variety of different things. I don't really have a style of clothes. I have a lot of different colors. I just love, you know, I love clothing as it is, and I love expressing myself through my clothing. So that's just one of the big things for me, is being able to express myself, and I do that through my clothing and through my appearance. So that's just basically, I don't have a style. Question 4. Talk about your choices with body hair. Do you style your hair? Do you have facial hair? What do you choose to shave or choose not to shave? I love body hair. I don't shave. I don't shave my armpits. I have hairy armpits. And I shave my legs occasionally, maybe once a month, if not every other month, because it saves me time. I don't have to sit there and try to shave my legs. And I personally like the look of it. I do. I like the look of it on me, and that's just kind of my personal opinion on it. And obviously my hair, I have it shaved on the sides, both the sides I have it shaved, and the back and the top is just kind of long and does whatever it wants to do. And I love it this way. I used to have long hair and it always made me feel uncomfortable because I never knew what to do with it. I loved curling my long hair and straightening it and playing with it, but it always made me feel like I was uncomfortable. I always felt the most comfortable with short hair like this. So I'm glad I kind of found a hairstyle that fits me and that I love. And facial hair, obviously I can't grow facial hair, but I mean, I'm not against it. Facial hair looks great, and if I were to be able to grow facial hair, I definitely would. Question 5, talk about cosmetics. Do you choose to wear makeup? Do you paint your nails? What type of soaps and perfumes do you use, if any? Alright, I love makeup. Makeup is one of my big passions. Being able to play with it and do the different looks, it's amazing. I'm not wearing any makeup now because I don't feel like wearing makeup, but I do wear makeup a lot, and it's not just on the days I feel feminine. I wear makeup on days I feel masculine, and it's just another way to express myself is through my makeup and through my looks. So that's just one thing. I don't paint my nails. My nails are gross, so I don't really want to show them right now. Mostly because my nails aren't strong, so they break very easily, and they're just kind of choppy. They're not, they're not cute. So I don't paint them. I do paint them sometimes. I'll go and get a manicure and pedicure, and I paint my toenails a lot because they're easier, but I don't really keep my fingernails painted. What types of soaps and perfumes do you use? I use just general soap. I know the one thing I use is men's deodorant. I use Axe deodorant, which I find works the best for me. It's not necessarily if it's made for a man or made for a woman. It's just whatever I found that can work as a deodorant. And I find that Axe works really well, and it smells good. So I use that. I have some different perfumes. I don't really wear them that often unless if it's like a big thing, like I'm going out somewhere or I have a big event that I have to go to, then I'll put some on. But everyday kind of thing, I'm not into doing perfume that much. But yeah, I just use, generally whatever I think smells good or whatever, works the best, I use. It's not necessarily if it's made for a man or made for a woman that I'll choose it that way. Okay, question 6. Have you experienced being misgendered? If so, how often? I find being misgendered hard for me because I am gender fluid, so one day I could be a boy and, I could feel like a boy and I'm just, I don't necessarily look like a boy. And if someone were to call me ma'am or girl or, she, her, I'm not going to be like, oh, you misgendered me. Like, it's not that big of a deal. When I was younger, before I identified as gender fluid, before I came to that conclusion that that's who I am, I had been misgendered. I had short hair for a long time. I shaved my head when I was 16 for St. Baldrick's, and when I would go out and I'd wear t-shirts or I love hats. I love baseball hats. Wear those, and people would say, oh, thank you, sir. And I always kind of thought it was funny. It didn't make me uncomfortable. It never really had. If someone were to be like, oh, sir, I'd be like, oh, thanks. Like, it's not, a big deal for me. All right, question 7. Do you experience dysphoria, and how does that affect you? Dysphoria is hard for me. I have always been female. That's what I was. I just came to the conclusion that I am gender fluid. Just not even less than a year ago. So I was always female, and I always had that, urge to be like, I need to look like a female, even though some days I didn't want to. And mostly because everyone knew me as female. So if I wore boys' clothes, what I love to wear, this is a men's shirt right now. I love to wear men's clothes because they're just more comfortable. And if people were to say, I don't know, my dysphoria, I'm wearing 2 sports bras right now to condense my chest. I do have a binder, but I don't find it as comfortable as wearing 2 sports bras. But I just kind of dress the way I dress, and dysphoria was always kind of like, oh, I don't like how I look, but I always, associated that with other things, as like being bullied, or having people tell me I need to have this specific body if I'm gonna be a female, but that's not who I am. So I always was like, trying to have what society told me I needed to have to be a female. And now I'm like, I don't care. If someone were to point out that I have boobs, yeah, I do, and I love them, but it's just kind of a thing that I never really noticed that I had. I just kind of pushed it to the side and, gave it other meanings than dysphoria. Question 8. Talk about children. Are you interested in having children? Would you want to carry a child if that were an option for you? Do you want to be the primary caretaker for any children you may have? This is a difficult question for me because I'm 20 years old. Right now, I am not looking to have children. In the future, maybe, but I'm not, like huge, like, oh my God, I really want a child. Like, I see mothers with their babies, and I think it's so cute and so, amazing. But then I think, you have to raise that child until, they're 18. But until, they can be stable and on their own. And that kind of scares me. So I would, if I were to have a child, I would want to carry it. I would want to have it. Otherwise, I do love adoption. If that would be a thing, if there was a sense where I couldn't have a child, I would adopt immediately. That's something that I've always kind of loved the idea of, and I loved, the idea of adoption. And number 9, talk about money. Is it important to you to provide for a family financially if you choose to have one? Is it important to you that you earn more than any partner you may have? Do you prefer to pay for things like dates? Are you uncomfortable when others pay for you or offer to pay for you? All right. Money is a big deal for me. If I have a family, I wouldn't be like, oh, I need to earn more money than you. It's just, if we have enough money coming in to live, sweet. That's all I really care about, is being able to live and have enough money. It doesn't matter really who's making more. Let me see. I don't know if I prefer to pay on dates. It's just kind of whatever happens in the moment. If they offer to pay for me, they offer to pay for me. And that's awesome. But I do feel uncomfortable asking for money. I will not ask anybody for money. I will not, I'm just recently kind of having to get help from my parents because I'm moving out, and asking for their help with money-wise is the hardest thing, because I am independent. I'm one of the most independent people that I know, and that's just, it's hard for me to ask for money, and I do feel uncomfortable when people are like, oh no, I got this, and I'm like, no, you shouldn't do that for me because it's mine. So that's just kind of my money deal. It's how I feel. And question 10, Anything else you want to share about your experience with gender? Yes. I have always, there's been, when I was growing up, there was 2 genders, female and male. And I never knew, I was never taught the difference between gender and sex. Sex is you're born, I am female, my sex is female, my gender is gender fluid, because I was born female is my sex. And I was never taught that until college when I took a women's studies class. Because I think it's, I want to blame it on the fact that I went to Catholic school my whole life until college. But I also don't, because they're not supposed to teach you, that's their beliefs, is the Catholic Church. And I was raised as a Catholic, so we weren't really taught about gender or sexuality. It was just kind of there, and I never really knew much about it until college, when I started to express myself more of who I wanted to be and who I am. And that's when it really got me that, there is more to, our life. There's more to society than just female and male. Alright guys, that's it. Our video for my first video, the gender tag. If you guys liked it, give it a thumbs up. And comment other things you want me to kind of do. I've been thinking about doing one about my sexuality, just kind of doing different tags as my first videos, just to get everyone to know more about me. I do have a blog. It's called allisonsguidetolife.blogspot.com. I'll put the link in the description, and I'll put it up here so you guys can see that and go check me out. I've been writing for a long time, and that's where I put a lot of things. I express more through my writing. So there's that. I'll link my other social medias, my Twitter, my Tumblr, my other Instagram, all that will be down in the description below if you want to go check me out. Thank you guys for watching.